Hey everybody, it's Critic here, and it's time for me to give y'all yet another update. First things first, there's two apologies that are in order. The first one is to you guys for promising at the end of my SCC video that the 18th episode of Your Theme Song Sucks would be out relatively soon. Obviously, that didn't turn out to be the case, as it took me well over a month to release the damn thing, and that's just inexcusable, especially given that I had nothing going on in my personal life that would have kept me from putting it out sooner. One of the things you need to have if you want to become a successful YouTuber is a consistent upload schedule, and if I lack the drive to have one, then I have no business whining about not having that many subscribers. Not only that, but my dad always taught me to be a man of my word, and in this instance, I didn't keep my word. For that, I'm sorry. The second apology I'm doling out, and the one you guys are probably more curious to hear about, is to Kai Weiss. Originally, I was gonna put this apology in the form of a comment on Kai's video on Omnia. However, after giving it a bit of thought, I decided that putting it in video form would be the more honorable way to go about this, especially considering how I wronged Kai in the first place. So, what exactly am I apologizing to Kai for, you ask?
Back in my last update video, which was uploaded on New Year's Day, I spoke briefly on the drama unfolding between Kai and his former girlfriend Omnia, which had barely been a month old at that point. For those of you who don't know what happened, Omnia posted a thread on Twitter accusing Kai of beating her and stealing many of her belongings in a psychotic rage. She also went on to claim that Kai had deleted both her original Twitter account and her original YouTube channel, which had almost 100,000 subscribers at the time. With Omnia providing plenty of evidence for her side that seemed ironclad at the time, and my inherent dislike of Kai stemming from his abusing the copyright system to censor people that criticized him, it wouldn't take a rocket scientist to figure out whose side I took. About a month ago, Omnia's YouTube channel was deleted, and her Twitter account was privated. Nobody really knew why this happened, and the incident remained a mystery for about a week or so. However, on December 10th, she posted a thread on a new Twitter account detailing what went down. To put it briefly, Kai had physically assaulted Omnia, stole a bunch of her shit, left their apartment, and locked her out of her Gmail account. That last act essentially gave Kai free range to delete Omnia's YouTube channel and private her original Twitter account, which is exactly what the little weasel did. This all happened within the span of a week, and in case you have to ask, no, they're not together anymore. Kai had been arrested for what he did, though unfortunately, as far as I know, he's since been released. For those of you wondering whether or not I'm going to make a video about the situation, let me make it absolutely clear to you that the answer is no. The reason why I'm not making a video about it is because the situation is still ongoing. Not only that, but I also don't have anything more that I can add to the discourse surrounding this situation that other people haven't already said. Don't get me wrong, I have no problem spreading the word that Kai is an abusive piece of shit, which is why I'm briefly covering this situation in this update video to begin with. But that's about all that I'm gonna do.
Yeah, this was very no bueno, and let me explain why.
On April 18th of this year, Kai Weiss returned to YouTube, creating a brand new channel named Only Kai. Now, this isn't the first time Kai has attempted to come back. There's been a number of different channels he's created in the time since he got rid of his original one. It's just that most of those have been deleted for reasons I'm not getting into here. This new channel, however, seems like it's here to stay, as Kai has uploaded 2 videos on it in which he refutes the claims that were laid against him, not only by Omnia, but by a former friend of his named Thuman as well. Again, these aren't the first videos Kai has made in his defense. There were several others he'd uploaded beforehand on his older channels, but again, those went away when he deleted said older channels.
Now, I'll be honest with you guys, when I first went into these videos, I thought they were gonna be absolute train wrecks filled with lies and rationalizations for shitty behavior. However, after thoroughly watching them both a couple times over, I have to admit, they're pretty damn good. They aren't perfect, as I still disagree with plenty of the things that Kai says in them, and they don't absolve him of everything that he's done throughout his career, but they do raise some serious questions about the credibility of both Omnia and Thuman. I'll show you guys some of the most damning parts of these videos to illustrate what I'm talking about.
Nigga, leave me alone already. I regret ever supporting Kai Weiss. I wish I could go back in time and reverse it. I never expected him to assault his ex-partner and then try and drag me into his breakup when it has nothing to do with me. Let's go over what I said before Thuman even popped off like this, because if they read, they would see that I was simply addressing the Peaches drama because it was the topic. And since I'm even on this Peaches mess, I was accused of violating a private vent server. Dude, half the time I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. Thuman gave me the screenshot. Half of the info I had on Peaches came from Nia and Thuman anyways. As you can see, I'm addressing Thuman's involvement in the Hopeless Peaches drama, given the fact that people are using my YouTube dramas as evidence that I didn't defend myself and I physically assaulted my partner. Not only that, I'm also addressing the fact that Peaches added their own commentary to my tweets, so I'm providing context to that drama. Like, how does YouTube drama have anything to do with why you beat the shit out of your partner? Did the Toby drama make you do that? The fact you're trying to tarnish reputations of those who once supported you by misrepresenting situations to suit your narrative is creepy as fuck. How can I tarnish your reputation when you were the one who chose to say what you said and do what you did? I didn't make you say what you said on Omnia's script about Peaches. I didn't tell you to start clowning in Jar's comment section behind the scenes. I didn't tell you to grab screenshots from the private server Peaches was in. I didn't tell you to hop on an alt while Peaches was private. But I'm glad we can agree on something. My dramas have absolutely nothing to do with this, but the general YouTube audience surely acted like they did. And please, never in your life say that you supported me. I was never your friend. You were Omnia's friend, and you were friendly with me. No one who talks shit about me behind my back and apologizes only when they got caught is my friend. They're a snake. When you wanted to create videos on Peaches, I clearly told you not to do that, yet you decided to do it anyways, so fucking take accountability for your own actions rather than trying to deflect and throw others under the bus. Such bitch behavior for real. I'm not the one who isn't taking accountability. Did you forget the 9-minute section you spent on this video talking about Peaches? If you don't remember, here's the timestamp. Or better yet, do you remember who you even worked with to get the screenshots of Peaches' Twitter comments for that video? If you don't remember, it was Omnia. Or let's jog your memory some more, considering that you changed your energy the moment I posted these screenshots of you gassing Omnia up for deplatforming Peaches on her script, which Omnia would have gone out and said if I didn't go against you and keep them from saying it. But more on this in a moment. Stop trying to drag me down with you, you weirdo, and simply leave me alone. I want nothing to do with you. I will continue to support my friend privately as I have been. Other than that, I wish to be left out of this mess. This is obsessive behavior for real. I wish to be left out of this mess, Thuman says, as she complains about an account 3 times smaller than her, calling her out for some bullshit she chose to do. You put more eyes on your own actions than I ever could. You will continue to support your friend privately as you have been? Cool, then don't ever say at any point we were friends or you supported me at all. You don't apologize for anything because you're actually sorry. You apologize because you got caught. You had a much larger hand in the Hopeless Peaches drama than you act like you did. How long were you going to let this slip under the radar before you took accountability for it? And oh man, wow, this just hit me. Did you forget about the call that we had with Spoctor before his video came out when we ranted about Peaches? Or did that suddenly slip your mind? Or maybe you forgot about also looking over Luke's script and unlisted videos in regards to Peaches in our group chat on Discord with Shannon, Junkie, Phantom, and Dulu. The only weirdo is you. I'm not gonna be your scapegoat. You wouldn't have to worry about people bringing up some shit you did if you didn't do it in the first place. If you take what happened to me as taking accountability, then the shoe fits for you too. On April 22nd, my family got a knock on the door and received this document. This document is the motions that was requested by Omnia for a revision to the protective order. Here's what the motions reads. I request that the attached order be changed, amended, and or modified as follows. The respondent shall have no contact of any kind with the petitioner, including all social media websites where they are speaking to/about the petitioner, the court case, and the alleged charges levied against him, publicly or privately. The beginning of this is normal, which was also granted by the court. I don't have any real interest in being around Omnia nor contacting them if that's what they want. The problem with the request for revision is the last part, including all social media websites where they are speaking to / about the petitioner, the court case, and the alleged charges levied against him publicly or privately. First off, this is ironic considering my charges are now alleged and not definitive like Omnia initially came out with saying, but that's fine. Secondly, I wouldn't complain about being misgendered considering that's exactly what has been done in this document to me, as well as behind the scenes in court, but again, that's alright. Lastly, it's nonsensical to attempt to abuse the court system again to deny me the ability to even talk about you privately, considering you have used your platform to publicly spread accusations about me, as well as use your private platform to talk about me, other times even to me. It gets worse when you read Omnia's own reasoning for filing the motions, to which they state, Kai's been very aggressive on social media about the case and the charges he's currently facing. It's frightening to see his behavior and spread misinformation about the case publicly. I also make a portion of my living online, and so a lot of these posts are draining to my mental / physical health. I ask that he is not allowed to speak about me, his charges, or the case online, publicly or privately on any social media platform for the duration of my protective order. If I'm spreading misinformation, it takes no effort to debunk it. The protective order ends in April of 2024. I'll be 23 then. If your response to misinformation is to abuse the legal system to legally prevent someone from privately and publicly speaking about you for 2 years, maybe you just aren't being honest. If I was lying, it takes no effort to make me look dumb, but this is your best course of action considering the fact I'm not lying, and by the time the protective order has wrapped up, people would have forgot about it. You could have said whatever you wanted about me, true or not, and served no repercussions. I'm glad the judge saw through that. Omnia really does not want people to know that they did this, because anytime anyone questions them on anything or confronts them about stealing my cat or filing this motion to the protective order, they either block them, hide their reply, or accuse them of misunderstanding the situation. There's nothing to misunderstand. These are your words. You filed this motions. This is your handwriting. If people are misunderstanding the situation, help them understand. Make me look stupid. But all you have done is dodge the question and tell people to wait until you release the full story, which also doesn't exist considering you couldn't even remember the events of what happened during the preliminary hearing when you were called to testify under oath before the case moved courts. But you're so traumatized, right? You contradicted your own statements to the police that you wrote down. All you have done is ignore the situation and hope that it goes away so people don't have to see how much you lied. If you were being so truthful, you wouldn't need to file this motion because you would have the evidence to disprove my screenshots. How am I causing you mental and physical pain by releasing tweets that you would have had to go out of your way to see? And if people did send you my tweets, get mad at them. What makes this worse is that you told people to do this. Now it's a problem that they do? Don't accuse me of spreading misinformation if you can't even debunk it. You had your opportunity in court when you were asked to state your case. Why would you be concerned about making a portion of your income online? So you're confirming that I'm telling the truth because I wouldn't affect your income if I was sitting here lying about you or what has been going on with the case. I must have really struck a nerve considering the fact this is how Omnia acts when having to be faced with accountability. If it was wrong for me to strike down Akumu's video, it should be even more wrong for Omnia to attempt to legally shut me up for 2 years.
So yeah, Omnia. Back in December, they accused me of some pretty bad crimes, all of those accusations affecting my life to this day. But I've kind of reached a point where lies don't really bother me. They've made some pretty big strides though. We went from definitive abuse to needing to wait on the full story to alleged, then attempting to prevent me from speaking privately and publicly about them, and now to no one needs to know about it, despite it being pinned on their Twitter profile.
Those who know what happened to me last December understand why, and those who don't, that's okay too. You don't need to.
Wow, interesting.
Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Hopefully you don't mind that the camera's changed. The lighting in my room keeps changing, so I just decided to use a different camera for today. And also, I hope you enjoy Gabby in the background. It looks like she just wanted to take a nap next to sleeping Kirby, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of reprieve during this kind of rough video, because I know that I'm kind of struggling getting this video together and motivating myself to do it because it is a pretty heavy topic. So hopefully Gabby in the background can help you, take a break and look at a cute cat sleeping next to a Kirby plush.
Gabriella is my cat. It's not Omnia's. Gabriella was taken from me because Hana abused the legal system and protective order to take them from me. This was an action that was completely done out of spite, and Omnia attempted to justify taking my companion animal by claiming that I was also abusive to both of the cats, despite trusting them with me in the house alone with them before and after the protective order was filed. Here is the tweet where Omnia admits that Gabriella is my companion animal, and they originally belonged to me before they thought it necessary to basically legally force me to give her up. I never wanted to lose Gabriella, and I miss my little girl more than anything. I just wanted to come in again and add some more evidence in regards to this. This is the one thing that I hate that Omnia lied about. If I was so abusive to the cats, why do you trust them around me? Here is the text between me and Omnia where I sent Omnia a photo 2 days before they filed the protective order of the cats who were clearly safe with me. Here are some photos of me and Gabriella before and after the protective order. And here is a clip during my live stream where I go to pick up Minnie to show it to the stream. This was during my debate with John Swan, and Omnia was there. And I went to go pick up Minnie to show everyone since they wanted to see the cats. Obviously, Minnie felt safe enough to approach me and let me pick her up.
Oh shit, hi everyone. Can we see one of the cats?
Sure. Come here.
Yeah, it's right here. This is Minnie. You look like you're going for a Thanksgiving family gathering. Nah. I'm wearing my cardigan that I was wearing yesterday. It's pretty nutty. Hello. You're so precious. She's so tiny. She's such a tiny cat. Especially compared to me. Oh shit, you're so adorable. Oh man. I hope you guys hope I'm alright. I will be okay.
And on top of that, I just want to remind everybody of the tweet that Omnia released about if there's no evidence for somebody's claims, they never happened. There's no evidence of me abusing these animals because it never fucking happened. This will always bother me. This is the one thing that will always get under my skin because I love those animals more than anything. I love her so much, and it continuously bothers me how casually Omnia showcases my pet, knowing that she is not theirs. I really hate that I'm unnecessarily in a custody battle for my companion animal simply because my ex is a very petty, toxic, and abusive person to me, but I'm doing what I can behind the scenes to ensure that Gabriella comes home as soon as possible. There are a lot of people who are under the assumption that Gabriella is Omnia's cat, and always has been, but no, they are not. Omnia even lied to their audience about Gabriella being theirs until they realized that there was way too much evidence suggesting otherwise, and admitted to taking them, then tried to antagonize me by saying I stripped them from their sister and home of 6 months as if my baby hasn't been mine for 3 years, and I was the one who adopted her. There was no Omnia in Gabriella's life until I allowed Omnia to be in it. I kick myself every day for ever allowing Gabriella to stay with us. Omnia was also so petty to use my cat to farm donations out of their fans for cat supplies, despite them knowingly having enough money to buy them, and blamed me for being the reason they can't feed the cats, despite them again having the money to be able to pay for their food. They're attempting to abuse the restitution check in court to have me pay for the cat food, despite cat food being able to run out. They only did this to scam their audience and lie to the court, which they have done multiple times. Backstabbing. You've done that to me, which I just recently showed. You backstab both of your exes and even your ex-friends and have the audacity to tweet about and invalidate our traumatic experiences with you by dumbing them down to us telling one-sided stories about you to make you look like the bad guy. As if you weren't the one reading Moon's diaries to me after they chose to cut ties with you. Wild how they still have the heart to donate to you after lying about abuse. Or let's use a public example of you backstabbing me by saying the only reason you defended me in the John Swan drama is fear of me abusing you. As if there isn't an entire stream where you felt safe enough to talk to me about the drama as a whole, defended me, and showed absolutely no signs of being abused despite the debate being a month before our breakup.
Here,
That
but like,
he says like you're dishonest when you just simply probe like okay.
all I
if you can't-
exactly all I did was
if
probe.
you can't prove that it's illegal, then like what are you trying to prove?
Yeah, that's
And
why.
then-
That's
and
literally
that's
all
when
I
he was
did.
like, you're so dishonest. You're so this. You're so.
I can
that.
see
Like,
why niggas like Sen call me dishonest, because it's like all I do is just ask people for like, okay, then if that's the case, like then prove it. Like prove that this is illegal, prove that my claim is false. Like do that.
Literally, like half of the chat is only here to hate watch, and they're
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Oh my god, like crying more, and it's like, isn't he the one who left?
Like
the
bro,
call?
I'm
Isn't
not the
he
one. I'm
who's,
literally like if John wanted to come back and talk to me, I literally have no problem with doing that.
Or we can talk about the plethora of people who you cut ties with because they decided to hear my side of the story out for once. I'm sure you didn't hurt or traumatize those people in any way, because Omnia is innocent about everything and just a sad uwu victim, right? I find it weird that you talk about Creepshow considering the fact that you've done the things Creepshow has done, albeit, like I said in my last video on this drama, on a lesser scale. I've had to deal with your Discord friends stalking my Twitter account and attempting to manipulate me in order to breach my boundaries. You've attempted to put me in jail over a text that was sent to you by mistake. You've accused me of transphobia and perpetuated that narrative despite knowing that I'm not transphobic. You used my name in this situation to farm donations and material possessions you never owned out of everyone, claiming that I stole them, even admitting that not everything was stolen despite lying about a large majority being stolen, and have used situations like Juneteenth and Pride Month to farm for money out of people despite not doing a single thing in your own life to contribute to those causes at all. You've also not been honest about where any of your donated money has been going until recently, barely providing any proof of it. You stalked my brother's social media, have had your friends stalk my streams despite complaining about that being done to you, and you doing it to Rosie, but I'll cut you some slack and also take part of the blame for that. And I don't even want to begin on the subtweets, which is ironic considering the fact that you filed emotions against me to keep me from talking about you even privately, but you think it's completely okay to talk about me. Subtweeting me on my birthday of all things? Or trying to brag about hitting 20k in 6 months because I couldn't do it in the 2 years I had my channel. As if my only collaborator wasn't you is ridiculous. You know what you're doing, Hana. But you already take credit for people knowing who I am anyway, so I can't even have that. But I'm the abusive one. Okay. Omnia described in court during our preliminary hearing on April 15th that I straddled them, punched them in the face, and elbowed them in the face multiple times. This is also listed in the GoFundMe, albeit with the elbowing claims removed. Omnia recounted all of these events with absolutely zero emotion. Y'all want some more proof for this? Here's the text that Omnia started sending to their friends on the day of the protective order while they were outside of the house getting the protective order filed. Clearly, you can see by these text messages, they don't act like the victim that they act like on the internet. They don't act like how they do on Twitter. They're completely unbothered and almost happy that they did this to me. So I just wanted to put this here in the video so I can even more substantiate the fact that Omnia is full of shit here. You would think 2 days after I allegedly beat their ass, they would look pretty battered up in the face, right? Wrong. The pictures that Omnia posted on December 10th were confirmed by the court and police reports to be taken on December 5th, 2 days after their alleged abuse happened. If I was beating Omnia's face so bad, how did they come out with minor bruising? And if I was only beating their face, why would they have bruising on their arms? Almost like I was trying to do my best to keep them away from me, For someone who claimed that they were strangled, which they conveniently left out when telling the world about my charges, straddled, elbowed, and punched in the face by someone who is much larger than them, how in the world did they end up looking like this 2 days later? Let's actually be logical about this. Omnia also made it a point to the court to say that they did absolutely nothing to defend themselves. They allegedly sat there and let me beat on them. If that was the case, Omnia should look way worse 2 days later, right? At least some bleeding, swelling. And since Nicholas Diorio has such a huge problem with me using Rihanna's photos 4 days after their abuse to illustrate my point, I'll appease them. During the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case, some brave domestic violence victims came forward and posted their own injuries that were days after they were abused. I actually bookmarked some of these photos in hopes to illustrate how Omnia is lying about me defending myself. I am 6'2", big hands, sharp knuckles, tall. If I am, quote, punching them and elbowing them in the face multiple times, please tell me how they came out 2 days later looking like they just got out of a cat fight. The bruises were so hard to notice that even Tipster had to edit them in Photoshop for people to see them, which I think is shitty for him to do. Like, you're actually weird as fuck, but whatever. Omnia also claimed to a fellow commentator, Harley TBS, that I abused them on October 13th. That never happened. I went back to look at her text, and since Hana has absolutely no issue accusing me of abuse with no backing, here is Hana attempting to try and drag me down with them after I chose to walk away during one of our arguments, and literally admits their own fault. But that's not without trying to say, as they do often, oh, we both do this. Like, no, Hana, it's just something you do. So either you're confirming you're abusive, or everything you said here is a complete lie. You look dishonest either way. I never abused my partner.
Knowing what I know now about the lies that Omnia and Thuman spread about Kai, it was incredibly wrong of me to jump to the immediate assumption that Kai was guilty of being a wife beater. Especially as someone who's rallied against people doing the exact same thing when it comes to other serious allegations. Innocent until proven guilty should apply to everyone, even people I personally dislike. So Kai, if you're watching this, which I hope you are, I would like to humbly apologize to you for jumping the gun on your case. I let my bias get the best of me, and I'm gonna try my best to make sure that doesn't happen again. And before anybody gets upset with me, I'm not saying that Kai is totally in the clear either. To my knowledge, he and Omnia are still arguing out their cases in court, so legally speaking, neither one of them has actually been proven guilty of anything yet. I'm only apologizing for immediately assuming Kai was guilty right off the bat without hearing his side out first. As a result of all of these developments, I'm going to be adding the links to Kai's latest videos in the description of my old update video, as well as a fair warning to those looking to click on Omnia's Linktree and support her. I'll also be dropping the links to his latest videos in the description of this video, so you guys can go watch them and see if they manage to change your minds about Kai's guilt. Now that all of that's out of the way, let's talk about what happened to all of those videos I promised I was gonna be making recently.
During my video about the drama surrounding Mr. Enter's review of the movie Turning Red, I teased 3 different projects of mine. The first of those was the new episode of Your Theme Song Sucks. The second was a live response to the podcast that Animat did covering Mr. Enter's review. The final one was a commentary covering John Swan's response to the video Technicals did about the Zero drama. Obviously, that new episode of Your Theme Song Sucks has already come out, but what happened to the other 2 projects? Well, unfortunately, my live response to Animat has been cancelled, and my commentary on John Swan has been put on an indefinite hiatus. It's not because I've changed my mind about either of those videos though, but more so because of external circumstances. For starters, I cancelled my live response to Animat because I felt that Mario Bendor did such an excellent job responding to what the man had to say himself that I have nothing new to add to the discussion, and he did it in like 5 minutes. That's amazing.
I'm also just tired of listening to people bitch at Mr. Enter for saying something he didn't actually say.
As for my commentary on John Swan, there's simply way too much shit for me to cover. The video is 50 goddamn minutes long, and in order for me to back up all of the criticisms I'm planning to make against it, I'd have to do mountains of research on various dramas, some of which are over 2 years old at this point. Do you have any idea how long that would take me?
It took me a month of research to produce my response video to the SEC, and the only things I was responding to in that video were tweets. Not to mention that during that time, no new content was put up on my channel. I don't want to pull that shit on you guys a second time, so I think for all our sakes, it'd be better for me if I just put my John Swan commentary in the back burner while I work on other projects.
Speaking of other projects, in the pinned comment I left under my SEC video, I promised that I was gonna do a live, blind response to their response to my Mr. Enter video.
Are you guys sick of the words videos and response yet?
Fortunately, unlike my live response to Animat, this live response is definitely still happening. It's just that, I have to wait for the video to be released first. Of course, a part of me is hoping that they've cancelled it, but if there's one thing being on the internet has taught me, it's that hope is for the stupid.
Alright, now that I'm done accounting for every video and livestream that I said I was gonna do, it's finally time for me to run down the list of all of the videos that I'm for sure gonna be releasing in the coming months.
First things first, a review of my least favorite episode of BoJack Horseman. I'm not gonna tell you which episode I'll be reviewing because I want to surprise you guys. However, I will give y'all a little hint.
Hey, fellow university students. Man, that Psych 302 class is tough. You know what makes me feel better? A great lunch, like this $5 fill-up from KFC.
Alright, real talk, if any of y'all actually can guess which episode I'm gonna be reviewing from that clip alone, I'll give y'all a shout out in my review, because that would be impressive.
Second thing second, a new episode of Your Theme Song Sucks. Believe it or not, I stumbled onto the latest subject of this series by complete accident. Seriously, I was just browsing pirating websites.
I mean, browsing Netflix.
And just happened to come across the theme song that I'm gonna be covering. Talk about luck, right?
Again, I'm keeping the subject of the video a secret, but here's your hint. The show is based on a video game that was developed by the same company behind the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Third things third, my first ever list video. Yes, I'm attempting another one of these, though don't be concerned. Unlike my last list, this one is both much shorter and will definitely be coming out, even if I have to kill myself to see it through.
Though, hopefully it won't have to come to that.
And no, I'm not giving you guys another hint. You've already had enough of them. I will, however, play this totally unrelated video that has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Now put that thing back where it came from, or so help me! Oh, hey! We're rehearsing a scene for the upcoming company play called, Put That Thing Back Where It Came From, or So Help Me! It's a musical! Yeah, put that thing back where it came from, or so help me! So help me, and cut!
Last but not least, what would this channel be without its commentaries?
I'll tell you what it'd be. Dead, because nobody gives a shit about my cartoon reviews.
Jokes aside, I've got 3 new commentaries in the works. One on the Young Turks' response to Ryan Kinnell's review of the movie The Batman, another on the Affromentator's response to Lobster Hero's response to Veritas Joey's video on High Guardian Spice's haters, and lastly, one on Veritas Joey's video on blackwashing.
Which Akumu was supposed to have tackled himself, but that asshole's even lazier than I am, so I guess I gotta do it instead.
Fortunately, all 3 of these videos are relatively short, so it's not gonna take me too long to destroy them with facts and logic. I think the first one I'll be knocking out is the Young Turks' response to Ryan Kinnell, since it's not only the shortest, but it'll require me to defend a controversial movie review that only became controversial because idiots on Twitter misconstrued an admittedly poorly thought out point within said review, and I know a thing or two about doing that, don't I?
Don't worry though. All of these commentaries will come out in due time, as will my cartoon reviews. Just don't expect them to be here anytime soon, as y'all know how bad I am at putting videos out quickly. Hell, this update video was supposed to be out 2 weeks ago. Plus, I've got some pretty important stuff going down in my personal life that's gonna take large chunks out of my free time, so I don't want to promise you guys anything that I know I won't deliver on. The videos will come out when they come out. Hopefully, that'll mean soon. But again, I'm not promising anything. Normally, I'd end the video right here, but there's 2 more pieces of news I've got to break first. Get ready for this first one, folks, because it's gonna rock you to your core. I have been banned from Twitter. That's right, the Gestapo finally came for me. And you wanna know what the funny part is? It was for something I didn't even do. Seriously, I've only ever had one account on Twitter, and that account has never been banned. So how exactly I've been evading a ban is something I'd be happy to share with you guys as soon as Twitter gets back to me about my appeal.
If I had to guess, I'd say this had something to do with my Twitter account getting hacked and posting tweets with links to spam websites a few weeks back. The thing is though, I took care of that problem as soon as it occurred by deleting said tweets, changing my password, and enabling 2-factor authentication on my account, so what the hell, Twitter? Speaking of getting hacked, this leads me to the final thing I'll be discussing on this update. As some of you might know, my YouTube channel got hacked into as well. And the hacker uploaded 2 spam videos that included links to websites that were probably malicious in nature. Luckily for me, this happened right as I got out of bed, so I was able to fix the problem almost immediately after it sprung up. But still, I apologize to anybody who may have clicked on whatever links were provided on those videos and contracted any form of malware. Rest assured that the hackers have been kicked out, and any future videos you see on this channel will 100% be from me.
Let's just cross our fingers that YouTube doesn't ban me from their platform as well, because I might literally give up video making if that happens.
As for where you guys can follow me now that my Twitter account has been banned, I've created an account on Gab. My handle is @AlexTheCritic21, and I'll be leaving a link to my account in both the description of this video and my channel description. So if you want to be kept up to date about my future videos, there you go.
Until then, I'm Alex the Critic, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, wait. I'm also going to be adding this list of guidelines to the end of every episode of Your Theme Song Sucks from now on.
Do you have a show whose theme song you want me to riff on? Tell me the name of it in the comment section down below, and I'll be happy to look it over. Just remember to follow these rules I've set for what theme songs I'll cover before you leave your suggestion. Also, I can't guarantee that your suggestion will be made into a future episode of this series, as I'll only cover a theme song if I think it's bad. Don't be afraid to leave one anyways though. Who knows, maybe you'll lead me to the next subject after all. Alright, see you guys later.
Hopefully you people will now stop recommending me anime theme songs. I'm a cartoon reviewer for crying out loud. Fucking weebs.
Oh, and Close the Tab is coming back too. Well, not technically coming back since we haven't recorded a new episode in like forever, but there's 18 episodes that have yet to be released, so I'm gonna work on putting those out as soon as I possibly can.